What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the SFS channel. My name's Gavin, and today I've got my Week 17 regular season finale waiver wire episode for you guys with my top 5 must-add players for those of you that are still going strong in your fantasy leagues. I know for most of you guys, you wrapped it up in Week 16, and congrats to those of you guys that closed out the season strong. But for some of us, we've still got unfinished business and some games to take care of here this coming week. Like I said, today's video is my top 5 must-add players for Week 17 NFL action, and the guys I see having the biggest roles and being the biggest contributors here down the stretch in these championship finales. So if you guys haven't already, make sure to go down, subscribe to the channel, and turn the bell on so you guys are notified whenever I come out with a new video. And be sure to stick around this offseason for all of my content I'll be putting out for you guys. I'm planning on having a huge draft guide for you all and putting out some really great stuff to help you guys be even better fantasy players in 2021. So continue to grow with me, continue to support the channel here, and we're going to do some big things. Thank you guys so much for all of your time and support this season, but let's not waste any more time. Let's hit the intro and get into my final Week 17 waiver wire ads for 2020. All right, my first must-add player this week, and probably the most important ad for Week 17, is Malcolm Brown of the Los Angeles Rams. And Malcolm Brown was formerly the starter for this football team. I mean, he started off this season as that lead guy for the Rams offense and was their go-to player. But as the years unfolded, Sean McVay has deployed that running back by committee scheme, and we've seen Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers both have their opportunities to be the lead producer for this team. Coming into Week 17, though, both Akers and Henderson, guys that we've seen take over that backfield and give some juice to that offense, both be dinged up and both be questionable coming into this game. We're not sure whether or not we're going to see these guys. And I think that we would lean on the safe side here and say that Malcolm Brown is probably going to be the most healthy back coming into that game and probably their go-to player. So Malcolm Brown, you almost get a little bit of flashbacks to C.J. Anderson when he came in for this Rams team and was able to put up league-winning numbers at the running back position, filling in for Todd Gurley. So Malcolm Brown, you never know what might happen. This is a team that wants to run the football, and this week against the Cardinals, I think that is certainly an opportunity to do so. Jared Goff also had surgery on his finger and likely won't play, so the Rams' offensive scheme might be heavily catered towards the run game. I think Malcolm Brown can get the job done and be a solid RB2 this week, and a guy that's going to be a key contributor to a lot of teams. All right, my next must-add player this week is A.J. Dillon, the rookie running back for the Green Bay Packers, the second-round pick from the 2020 draft. And A.J. Dillon, I thought, was very impressive in that football game against the Titans, albeit against a team that has been very poor against fantasy running backs all season long. But nonetheless, A.J. Dillon flashed some spark and some burst in that game. He showed the ability to run physical and downhill when given the opportunity in the open field. Dillon racked up 21 carries for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns in a game I thought was very impressive for a rookie who was really getting his first opportunity at a workhorse share of touches. I mean, Jamal Williams was not active for this game, so Dillon was able to see a lot more opportunities. He had over 2 times as many carries as Aaron Jones did. Jones did have a slight issue with his back in that game, and had to leave for a little bit, but A.J. Dillon got the hot hand and kind of took over that football game. I would be a little bit more skeptical with him here in Week 17 at Chicago to play the Bears as a better front and a better team against the run, and especially if we see Jamal Williams come back to the field, I think Dillon's fantasy value takes a hit. But in the event we see Dillon have the opportunity to have another high workload, I think he's a guy that can be a flex-level player for some teams. And then I've got another running back coming in at my number 3 spot here. Lots of them on today's list. I've got Gus Edwards for the Baltimore Ravens. And Gus Edwards has been a guy I have really appreciated in fantasy the last few seasons while he's been in the league out of Rutgers. He helped me in his rookie season as a waiver wire pickup win one of my championships because he had a very strong finish to that season. And I think he can do the same again here this year. Gus Edwards has been very productive on the goal line throughout his career, and has been a guy who's been able to find the end zone. I mean, he's not the most productive guy in the world. He hasn't been a starter throughout his entire career. He's probably not the most talented guy either, but when he's given the chance, he can put up a pretty safe floor. And against Cincinnati this week, I think that's much of the same. I would expect a very decent output from him. And for a guy who had 100 scrimmage yards against a very solid Giants front last week, I think he can do some nice things again here. J.K. Dobbins is also dealing with a chest injury, and they've kind of been that 1-2 punch as of late. Mark Ingram has been completely removed from the situation. I would not be surprised if they end up letting him go and cutting him before his final year under contract with the football team. He has really been excluded, healthy scratches the last couple of weeks, and just not utilized. So I think Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins are the way this team is leaning the rest of the way. And I think that especially with Dobbins dealing with that chest injury, if he loses some touches or even some time on the field, Gus Edwards is the main beneficiary from that. And then at my number 4 spot, I've got one more running back. I didn't want to keep this video all running backs, but there was a lot of guys I think have some value this week and some players I think can be contributors. And Ito Smith is another one of those guys. Ranked at number 4 here, he is my last running back to go out and pick up, but Todd Gurley has been effectively benched. I don't think he's going to have a fancy role on a football team next year. The only real facet of the game that he's been productive in is his red zone production and touchdowns. Ito Smith was far more productive on probably less volume than we've seen Gurley get throughout the year. This is his job to lose now. I think Ito Smith is the guy that the Falcons look to here down the stretch. He's not going to be the most productive guy in the world. They still use Gurley a bit, but especially against Tampa here in Week 17, a tough front and a tough unit against the run. I don't think we can have too high of expectations for Smith, although he is a versatile pass-catching running back at times. I still think his ceiling is a bit low here, but for a guy, if you're really desperate for a flex play or really need a RB2 play, he could come in there and give him a touchdown or two, a big play. He might be able to put up a nice game. And then at my number 5 spot, I left room for one wide receiver here, and Nelson Agholor I think is a fantastic option to go out and pick up this week and actually give the start to at either wide receiver 2 or flex in a lot of leagues. I mean, Agholor has been showing a very high ceiling all year long. I like the matchup this week at Denver, and I think that he's really been the most impressive guy for that football team all season long at the wide receiver position. I mean, Henry Ruggs, the rookie first rounder out of Alabama, we know how talented he is. We know he's got wheels, and we know that someday he probably could be something very special, but for this season, he's just not quite polished enough to find space consistently at the NFL level and be an elite fantasy producer. He's had his moments, he's had his streaks where he puts up a long touchdown or an explosive play, but for this season, I think outside of Darren Waller, Nelson Agholor is the next go-to guy in the passing game, and 5 for 155 last week. That's exceptional production, and I think that he can do similar things this week. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see him go for over 100 against a very struggling Denver football team. Since Agholor got out of that miserable situation in Philadelphia and I think has found a new home here in Las Vegas, he's really exceeded expectations and been a bright spot on the field for that football team this season. So I think that Agholor, who is in a contract year, like I said, only a 1-year deal, he is playing for another contract. I think he tries to finish the season out strong here despite the Raiders being eliminated from playoff contention, and I think he'll put up a big game here in Week 17 to leave GMs with for the offseason. Those are my top 5 must-add players for Week 17 NFL action. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel and turn the bell on so you guys are notified whenever I come out with a new video. And thank you guys so much for all the support you've had for me so far this season. It's been a great year. You guys have exceeded my expectations and just been a great support system and a great fan base, and I cannot wait to get even better for you guys in 2021. Stay tuned for the rest of this week. I've got more content for you guys. If you want my position-by-position rankings here for Week 17, head over to my Patron and become a member there to receive those. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. You are all so appreciated, and everything you do for this channel is not taken lightly. So thank you all. You guys are amazing, and I'll see you later. Peace out.